Hey everybody, this is Stacy Renee again, and I want to tell you thank you for the power of one once again. I had one more subscriber, and I'm never sure if these videos will help, but it looked like last week's video would help. So this week our topic is lies. If you like that that's the topic, please hit the like and subscribe button below, and if you keep watching, if you feel like it's going to help somebody, please share it. I wanted to talk about the white lies, the black lies, the gray lies, and distinguish what my perception is of the difference between those and how we can get into acknowledgement of them, acceptance, and then forgiveness. Okay, so let's start because I'm going to make this pretty brief also. Okay, so first off, we have the white lies. These are the ones that we tell that maybe we figure somebody doesn't need to know our business, or something, maybe we don't need to expose the whole thing, and so we tell the little white lies or what have you, where they're self-seeking usually, and then there's what I would title black lies. These are just the darkest lies, and these are the lies that people habitually tell. Some people just can't tell the truth, right? They just lie when the truth would serve them better. And so these are the black lies, and those are the saddest lies because they wear on your consciousness. All of our lies will wear on our consciousness. That's our connection, to source and our soul. So that consciousness, all of the lies will. But the gray lies are the lies we tell ourselves. So in the forgiveness part of these, is that we can forgive people for lies. We may not have to accept the people in our lives, and we can forgive ourselves for accepting lies when we have had the black lies just blatantly in our face time and time again, and we have, right? So it's about forgiveness in the bottom line. As all of us have probably lied, whether it's a white lie, a black lie, or a gray lie, and the gray lies are the most common, at least they have been for me, is the lies that I tell myself. And that's where forgiveness of self comes in, because really we can't forgive someone else until we forgive ourselves, at least in my thinking. Intellectually, we may not feel like we've done anything wrong, and sometimes we were actually truly victims. So I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, but a lot of times some of the things we've done, that we're mad at someone else for doing, we have actually done in some kind of way ourselves, but maybe we justified it, but still it's a lie. So when I used to get my chakras balanced, this is your truth chakra right here, and it would be clogged up. It would have obstacles in the way. It would have negativity there because that's how I spoke to myself. Those were the negative lies that I told myself. Sometimes we don't know how to value ourselves because if we grew up in a place where our achievements were minimized, if we had achievements, maybe we were even too afraid to have achievements. And maybe we don't know how valued and validated that we are. So maybe we lied to ourselves about our place in this world. And I think that that's probably what my gray lies were about, is that I really didn't know my place in the world. I didn't know my value. I know when I've done resumes in the past that I had to add more things that I'm capable of doing because I didn't know that these things were a value or a treasure, that my talents and gifts were a value and a treasure. And so I didn't know how to value myself. And so these gray lies are when we don't value ourselves. The black lies are a false lie. That's when we are building up stories all around ourselves because we feel inadequate or inferior. There's people who tell those lies. And so it's not good to call them out on those lies. I would hope that we would have compassion and forgiveness, although you may have to call them out. I'm not saying not to call them out, but, to walk away with compassion and forgiveness, to say, oh, that's very sad that they have to lie because the pain is so ingrained so deeply that they can't handle the truth. They can't get to that part where they can heal because they won't look at the truth. I've got a t-shirt that says awareness is the remover of obstacles. So when I became aware that that I was lying about myself to myself and didn't realize my own value, that was the remover of those obstacles in my throat. So lastly, those white lies, the self-seeking, self-serving lies. These are lies that are usually manipulations or out of fear of, answering really the whole truth, you know. And that's kind of sad too, but sometimes we don't have to let everybody know our business. So maybe it's omission. Whatever the lies are, I hope that we can choose to have forgiveness. And it's really important, the forgiveness of ourselves, because this does wear in your consciousness, in my consciousness. If I tell a lie, I have a friend who I'm going through a settlement thing right now, and my friend's like, lie. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to lie. Because I don't want the settlement if I have to lie to get it, for real. So I'm trying, I would try not to lie. Now, there was one part I was asked about that was to my own detriment, that I accidentally lied, so this would be again in the category of white lies, because I was asked if I paid something, and I said that I didn't, and I actually did. So it's just sometimes when we're caught off guard and in a moment, we may have an accident. But more importantly, in this truth chakra, what I explain to people, the things going here, is everything that we see with our eyes, hear with our ears, and say with our mouth, and touch with our hands, has files and transmitters in the back of our mind. And so what this does is it's our memory, but it's also our experience to life. And when we're not meditating and we're not open and receptive to different things, and we just decide everything's a lie, because some of you grew up in places where people lied all the time. That was just part of the life, It was, like I said, in the black lies, people just lied, and sometimes people don't know the truth. There's a book by, M. Scott Peck, that's called People Love the Lie. So sometimes people just grew up and that was their second nature. Same with addiction. Some people grow up in homes where food addiction is prevalent and, drug addiction is prevalent. And so we grow up, that's what we know, and that's what we think is life, So I had a friend also, well, not a friend, but a client the other day that, I asked, what do you like about yourself? And she said, well, I like that I'm a kind person. And she said, and I like that I'm non-judgmental. And I'm like, well, that's really good. But the thing about being kind and non-judgmental is even it has this double-edged sword, because sometimes when we're always kind and we're non-judgmental, maybe we're not telling the truth, And the thing is having discernment, even in that, I introduced that word, discernment. And I suggest this with this, is we can forgive people but still exercise discernment when we're dealing with people who lie. If people have lied to us once about these like the black lies, stuff that's just doesn't make any sense to lie about, well, they're probably going to continue to lie, And then sometimes people lie and don't mean, and I have done this too. Sometimes somebody asks me a question that is this not going to happen again? And I might have said no because I didn't know. And I've learned that my lesson from telling that lie is to say, you know what, I really don't know. I hope not. I wished because I really regret having just said no, because it was a lie. And so sometimes we can't tell what's going to happen in the future. And we may just need to say, I certainly hope not. Sometimes, it's not black and white and just simply yes and no. Sometimes there's gray areas, then this uncertainty and the unknown. So rather than pointing all of our fingers at somebody for lying, is to have compassion and forgiveness, for ourselves and for them. It doesn't mean that you have to go back in the ring with the lie. As somebody who's, proven time and time again they're going to lie to you. But we can have compassion that person is so wounded that they don't know the truth. I didn't know my own truth at one certain time, at one time. And I worked on these chakras, and I remember to massage my chakras, work on my chakras, because Everything that I see, say, touch, and smell and hear, all is transmitted down here, down through my organs and my glands. And if I want to stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and blessed beyond measure from the ground to the skies, I have to exercise some compassion and forgiveness. It doesn't mean not standing up for myself. It doesn't mean giving up on things that I desire. But it means that I can see another person as a human being and not villainize them, not victimize them anymore. But just have some compassion, and forgiveness. And take care of myself. Because if I don't take care of myself, that's the biggest lie of all. So being honest with myself, truthful with myself, and knowing my own value and worth. And when I know that, I don't have to hold myself up to anyone else's bar. And I suggest that for you too. Don't hold yourself up to someone else's bar. Realize what yours is if you don't already know. Where are the places where you're lying to yourself about your value and your worth? Because your soul knows. So I hope this video has been helpful. It's always my intent to spread the love and to be, honest with people. I may fall short. If I do, it's not intentional. So that would be in the area of the white or gray. But I certainly wouldn't take you to a dark place with my lies intentionally. So I hope to connect with you next week. As always, if you have any ideas for a video or anything you want me to discuss, or you have any input, please feel free and put it in the comments below. All right, be good to yourself and take care. Bye.